Morning guys, August 19th, 2020. This one I got a call for AC icing up yesterday. So I told the lady to shut the unit off and I'd go by there in the morning, give it 24 hours to, you know, if it is all iced up, most likely inside the coil, you gotta give it a day to thaw out the ice before you could run it and check what's going on with it. If it's a big ice cube, you really can't do much with it. I'm gonna go over there and see if we can figure out what's going on with it. Go give it the old, how you doing, mama? The old, how you doing? You put a new filter in it, but one of the big heavy duty ones. It's got a TXV. I want to make sure the fan works while we check it so that it's icing. I'm going to turn it on. It's a carrier unit, I believe. Yeah, it's a carrier. So the fans are working. Bulb's kind of flipping loose as a goose there, mama. Not even wrapped up. That ain't no good. Hello.
You want me to put a fan on or?
No, the fan comes on when you put it on cooling. Yeah,
okay.
Automatic.
Okay.
King valves. What are you gonna? Anybody sick in the house? No. Anybody sick? No. It's got a bad TXV for sure.
What was that, bad what?
The bad TXV inside. It's supposed to be regulating 10 on a superheat and it's at 50. That's definitely the problem. Why'd you put such a thick filter inside there on that filter? Why'd you get such a thick filter? Why did he get such a thick filter? I mean, he's got problems with return air the way it is, and he put that real thick, heavy-duty, expensive filter in there. You're not getting the airflow. You got to go with a real cheap one to get the airflow because the return's so small to begin with.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying, yeah.
So he's kind of like, it's already blocked before you put it in there, that type of filter. If you had enough return air, double returns, you could use that type, but you can't on his system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's bent it,
Yeah, Yeah, you don't want. You want to use the cheap ones, the cheap ones.
Use a cheap one and then maybe replace it.
For airflow.
Yeah.
Because that thing there is one of them super hyper allergenic bullshit, and you know, you don't need it. You can't use it in that case. Yeah, we definitely got issues here.
What's the piece inside?
It's a thermal expansion valve inside that's supposed to regulate and control, and it's all screwed up here. You want me to show you what it's doing?
I'm saying it's the valve inside.
Yeah, the valve inside, okay? Should be like 9 degrees subcooling, and it's already overcharged at 13. And it's supposed to regulate the superheat to 10. It's at 50. So that's why this is so low. This should be like 120, 130. See, it's at 88?
Yeah. That's
below freezing. It's going to ice up. So if the TXV was good, this would be about 9 or 10 subcooling that was in here. And then this would be like 10 or 15, but it's 50. See it?
Yeah.
It's not going to work like this. At 88 on 410A.
So when it's a little cool outside.
410A, right? 410A right here, right? At 88. It's 24 degrees. See it? 24 degrees?
Yep.
At 80. 85, but it's 88, so 85's the closest. 24 degrees, that's below freezing.
Yeah,
that's why ice is up. So if it was at 120, right, which it should be around there, it's at 41 degrees. It won't ice because it's warmer than above freezing.
Yep.
That's why it ices when it gets cold, when it's not running right. So let me see if I could adjust that. Maybe I could tighten that bulb or something. Gosh, you're still way off. I mean, I could probably try putting a little bit of gas in it to get you by for now.
You're saying he'll be able to use it still?
I don't know. I might be able to put a little bit of gas in it. I did tighten up that bulb that was in there. It should have had all covering on it. Didn't have it, and I wrapped it with the covering. Let me try putting a little gas in it. See what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if they can't use it.
Let me try to put a little gas. So the pot inside regulates and makes the system work, and that's screwing up. It's not regulating properly. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Say that again?
I said the blue. It looks like it dropped a little bit.
Oh, that's because I covered the bulb inside. There's a sensing bulb in there that should have been covered, and it wasn't. So let me try adding a little gas to it. I don't have a TXV for that thing. Let me try adding a little gas and see what happens. Yeah, subcooling's supposed to be 11 on this thing.
What's it at right now?
I'm at 15. It's supposed to be 11. That's looking better there. Let's give it a little time here, and it might be.
Oh yeah, the blue.
Yeah, this should be 11, and it's already 16, so it's already overcharged. And see that we're at 127 already? I mean, I didn't put a lot of gas in there. You gotta definitely get a different filter. Where do you get them? Home Depot and Lowe's? BJ's. Alright, just get, if you're gonna get the pleated ones, get the cheapest pleated ones you can get, like the Merv 4, the green circle. You probably got like the 12, the Merv 12, which is like really thick. No good because you don't have enough return air to begin with. It's like, whoever put that system in, you didn't put enough, you need so much return per ton, and you know, he has like probably less than half, probably a quarter of what he really needs. So by putting that thick filter in there, you're choking it back even more. You know? Right, so this is all starting to look a lot better here now. You see we're at 130?
Definitely.
See we're at 130? We're a little overcharged because this is at 16, but I'm alright with that because our superheat's at 20. See that?
Yep.
So maybe by just tightening up that bulb and covering it, it's going to be okay.
Think so? I don't think he has to replace it?
No, as everything looks right now, we're okay. I didn't put a lot of gas in it. I mean, I just put a tiny bit. I'm not saying that thing's not going to malfunction in the future, but right now it's working where we could run it like this.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because when I came here, this was 85, right?
Oh, yeah, and the other one was, what, 60, I think it was? The blue right above it?
Yeah, well, that's the superheat. So the TXV is a metering device. So it regulates the superheat with the bulb. That's what it does. It regulates. So at 20 we're good with the superheat.
Yeah, it balances it out.
It balances it out. It lets so much through and it turns it from a liquid to a vapor. That's what that does. And it adjusts according to the different temperatures with the superheat, which we're good at 20. 130, we're above freeze, we're above 100, so that's good. And the subcooling at 16, it's a little higher. This thing calls for 11, but we'll be all right with that. And this is the 410. But if you notice it's starting to ice up again, while your house isn't cooling, you go downstairs and you see it's ice, just shut it off. You know?
So
you could come out here and pull that out. Grab that, pull that out. You could leave the inside running, but just disconnect this.
Yeah.
Because this is what makes it ice.
Oh, okay. So you think like if it gets, you know,
you shut it off,
or?
You shouldn't go to 60. You shouldn't go any lower than 70.
No, I'm saying if the temperature up, you know, outside, you know, it cools down at night, you should probably shut off the AC, or you could leave it running.
No, leave it running.
That'd be all right.
Don't go no lower than 70 in the house.
No,
70,
that I know.
70 is good.
Yeah, not to go below that. But I'm saying the weather outside when it's really cool.
Well, if it's cool outside, it's going to be cool inside too.
You know what I mean?
If it gets cool outside, it's going to be cool inside. It's vice versa.
I was just thinking.
Unless you had a if you had a commercial building, when you got a bunch of people in there giving off a lot of heat, that's when you have a problem. When you need to have outside protection on the compressor because you got so much extra load inside of like a computer room. They'll run year round because they got all that.
I was working in an office. It was like 11 of us, and then it was all computers.
That's why it was so hot, because of the computers.
Yep.
So those systems have to run all year. Then you have to put ambient controls on the outside units to shut them down or regulate the fan. Right. You know. But in a house like this, you don't have that. You don't have all that extra load. So if it gets cool outside, it gets cool inside too. So you're not going to be running the air conditioning anyway. You got to change the filter for sure, but we're gonna leave it the way it is for now, like this. Okay? Kick the can. They call that kicking the can down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kick it a couple of times and get you some more time out of it.
So that's what I'm saying. The valve must be changed anyways.
Well, it's working now. We'll leave it.
Just leave it alone, like water on the floor, and then it goes in there.
You gotta set those king valves so they don't leak out. seated so this don't leak. Shit happens. Ever hear that saying?
Yeah, that pipe is really hot, though.
Yeah, so I wrap this up and I tighten. There's a bulb here that senses the superheat.
Oh, okay.
You can feel this is hot on this side and feel it on the other side.
Oh yeah.
So that's the difference there, you know.
So is this the piece right here you're talking about?
if this has a restriction and it's not working properly with the bulb and this is what turns the liquid into a gas.
Okay.
See how it's hot here?
Yeah, yeah.
And then it turns it into a liquid, which turns it into cold. This is the metering device. So this is the thing that's giving this starting to act up. Okay? That filter definitely. Look at the size of the return. I mean, that's,
yeah,
what,
that's
3
square.
tons? I mean, that's not enough. See that little square? That's
square.
probably 6.
That square should probably be the size of this.
Yeah, that should be the whole thing. I mean, it's only like 6 by maybe 15 or something. So with that filter, I mean, that bottom part that going across should be this size. You see it?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's way undersized. That should go way down. That should be a lot bigger. So he can't run these fancy filters. Buy the cheap ones. The MERV 4. If you go with the pleated filters, that's the lowest rating. That's probably a MERV 12, which is really thicker.
He's got it right there. Look.
What is it?
Yeah, see, he has to get the.
Yeah, this kind of I should see a MERV rating on there. Yeah, it's this super hypergenic 19. Look at this premium allergenic bullshit. I mean, yeah, definitely you don't want to go with them. And they're expensive buggers, right?
37 for 3.
37, yeah. I don't know what the MERV rating is, but it's 1900. I mean, it's, yeah. Don't use those.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, we'll get some.
Well, I explained to you why, because of the airflow.
Oh, I know exactly.
You need so much airflow and all that for it to work right, you know? So the bulb wasn't really secure in there too well. I tightened that up and I added that insulation. It seems to be working better now. It's regulating better now.